It's Astra for day 2 of the Own Your Gold course. And today's class is all about trusting your intuition. This is such a hugely important of to your empowerment, coming aligned with your inner divine money manifester. Here's the most important piece take away from this class, and never, 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 never forget this. Your intuition is never wrong. Your intuition is never wrong. That's the easy part. The more challenging part can be to trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. And it's just short and sweet. Anytime my intuition, things have flowed smoothly and I've manifested beautiful, wonderful things. And even deeper than that, it's not only trusting my intuition, but it's almost like I have to pay attention to my intuition as I'm guided. I just go. I'm literally just flowing moment. And that's once you trust your intuition, go off on, and you don't really have to think about, oh, am I getting and in my gut, and should I, or am I, getting a psychic feeling and should I follow it? It's that in that mode of being so aware that you're receiving guidance or a feeling, or you're still a little bit wavering on the edge of that old earth way of being, very much encased in fear. And I'm not judging it, please, not at all. I am so, I've been so there. Even recently, I'll share with you a funny story. Um, at all. This is a class, right? So I'm teaching the information that is wanting to come through. Um, from a place of the highest service for you, because the more it's just we don't judge ourselves for these things. We've been shifting from old earth to new challenges along the way. It's a learning curve, or more on the new earth side. We then can turn around, look back a little and go, oh, I was back there and now I understand why I was just spinning my wheels, stuck in that paradigm or that pattern, or repeating that one habit over and over again. And out of it, I also see and feel and understand that when I receive my intuitive soul information and I just begin to follow that and make that my new habit and create that to be my new paradigm and my new reality and my new earth way of being, I can feel how that is of, not only is it more high vibrational, but that creates our paths to simply stepping into the flow and having that be our new reality. Instead of questioning or receiving a piece of information and using your pendulum to say, is this, yes, no, yes or no, is this right or wrong? Am I really receiving this, or do I just think I'm receiving, and keeping ourselves in that old spinning the wheels, broken record syndrome. Because I know how it is. I also know how the new earth way of being is. And I can tell you for a fact, from the new earth way of being and being in that flow and trusting your intuition, your body is more relaxed, receiving wonderful things and revealing themselves to you in your life and in your business, left and right. Because it's a choice, you can choose to step back out of the flow and a little bit into that fear, and you'll go. It's like a car screeching. The brakes. You step on the brakes, and like you're like, oh yeah, I remember how this was. Oh, I wonder if I can get a client. I wonder if I'll have enough money to pay rent. I wonder if I will, and then you wait. Whoa, wait a minute. That's the old Earth way of being. Okay, take a deep breath. Yourself gently from that and say, thank you for the reminder. Trust my intuition. And then stepping back into that flow and into that receiving mode and into that as I write down what I desire, it manifests into my life. Um, and it's a little like a teeter totter. And which side do you want to be on? And I just want to share. This is such an interesting story, and um, doesn't really have anything to do with business, but really connected. And it's a perfect example of an old Earth versus new Earth. So okay, so I'm 46 years old, and and I'm just stating that because to give a little bit of an idea of my life cycles, and it has to do with music and a musician. When I was a teenager, and even as early as 13. So you may or may not have heard of the Adam ant. Um, if you have, you know that he's very unique and dynamic and very dramatic presence, and he's very artistic, and he's very punky, new wavy, but also very original. And his music always had a very tribal drum beat, even though he's English, he's from England. Um, Drummer Marco Peroni, I think is his name, um, had this very African, sometimes Native American feel, and also kind of punk rock at the same time. Brought his style of drumming, and Adamant's that um, almost tribal feeling. It's very interesting. I mean, he's saying in English. Stories of like being a pirate, or of being like a new romantic, with the ruffles and the big poofy hair, and he kind of would play these characters, and it was very shamanic. It was very transformational. It was very much like every new song had its own new shape shifting story, that I'm getting goosebumps on my scalp even as I'm telling this story. um, so he's just one of the most unique musical artists that I've hugely into music, and I have been in many lifetimes. And in all my lifetimes, Adamant, um, his stage name, performing name, one of the most unique, you know, um, and I never really thought of it before, but very shamanic musicians. I wonder if he even knows that. Um, and that was back, from like, I mean, he was creating music before this, but I became aware of him in 1983. And I would, constantly. His first band was Adam and the Ants, or the first one that I know of, and then the band itself broke up, but he continued as Adam Ant, and loved him, and I still love him, and obviously that was many years ago, and I'm a huge part of my life. And as many artists have been doing, recently, he's actually having like a reunion tour. and playing one of his albums in full. And and it's an album called Kings of the Wild Frontier. So it just kind of, shows you that energy that I was talking about. And and I thought, and I saw that they were playing like in California or something, and I'm in Illinois, and I thought, oh, why? Why isn't he playing in Chicago? Why? And then after that, I found out that he is playing in Chicago, at the end of January, and I thought, oh my God. So I looked up and I couldn't really find anyone who wanted to go with me. No one really has the deep passion that I do in my current circle of people that I do for Adamant, and that's fine. But I thought, well, if nothing else, the venue is pretty easy to get to, and I'll buy myself a ticket, and then if I find someone who wants to go, they can get their own ticket, and then we could go together. So and I asked my special guy, my partner, who we've been together for almost 20 years, and I asked him if he wanted to go. Action at first was like, well, I don't really know his music like you do. Like, I'm not that familiar, with his stuff. And he just didn't seem excited. So I thought, I'm not going to force him to go. And I thought, well, it would be like a fun date on one hand, but on the other hand, if he's standing there like, like not, then I'd rather just go by myself and dance like a wild person and have fun. But so then fast forward, no one else was really coming out of the woodwork who wanted to go, and my guy had kind of rethought it and thought, maybe that would be kind of cool and fun to go see Adamant with you. And I thought, well, heck no, how cool is that? And so he's like, yeah, I'll he's like, did you get your ticket yet? And I, no. And here's the interesting part. About 3 or 4 times, I had gone the tickets, and I got to the place where you could put in your credit card information, and then I kind of got distracted, and I thought, oh, I'll order it tomorrow. And like time, I was getting this intuitive vibe, like, order your ticket now at the end of January, but he's adamant, it's gonna sell out, it's gonna sell out. And always saying, order the ticket now, it's gonna sell out. And then I kept allowing myself to get distracted. Oh, let's go together. I thought, yay, hallelujah. And he's like, oh, since you haven't ordered your ticket yet, I'll just order the ticket. So I kept sending him these little reminders, like, did you order the Adamant tickets yet? Oh yeah, I got it. And he was getting distracted. It was the strangest thing. And finally he was like, you know what? There's all these service charges. He goes, I'll just go to the venue and pick up the tickets at the box office, and that way then there's no service charges, and it'll be fine. It'll be before this other thing I have to do that day, and blah blah blah. And I thought, okay. I had this feeling, but I wasn't listening to it, of we really need to order the tickets now. And interestingly enough, finally the day that he was going to physically go to the box office of the venue where Adamant's going to be performing and purchase the tickets. And I thought, and something made me go, and I computer and I said, you better check to make sure that there's still tickets available. And he first looked at the venue, and he's like, oh yeah, it's fine. I took the dogs out, I came back in, and he was looking at me, and I went, what? And he goes, I just saw this. And he was like pointing, he had gotten up this different computer screen. And I just come over there and I see the words sold out. And I thought, oh, like, no. I mean, I love music, but I almost never, ever go see live music anymore unless, I mean, it has to be something special that my soul is like clamoring, like, go see this show. And it was sold out. And I thought, I was, really fast. And I just said, I can't believe I didn't listen to my intuition and just order the freaking ticket every time that my intuition was like, order the ticket, order the ticket. It's going to sell out. Order the ticket. And I just was like, la la la. I was in la la land. I was, and I went and I sat in the other room. This well just flooded up and out, and I'm gonna do it again now. But I was crying, and I'm realizing that it wasn't out of disappointment of not going to the concert, own disappointment in myself that I didn't listen to my intuition, and that I didn't put myself into the seat of empowerment, when it comes to that divine voice that comes through each and every one of us. I had this huge purging, and I thought, you know what? I know why this happened, and it's good that this happened because never again not listen to the divine guidance that's coming through. Every time in my life that I didn't listen, I got the opposite of what I wanted. So, okay, take a deep breath and let it out. With you, a happy ending is that he went on a third-party ticket reseller site, Fuse, and found two Adamant tickets for more than he would have paid, even with the expenses added, the tickets online in the first place when I was getting the guidance to just go ahead and order the tickets. Because he felt really bad. And I wasn't mad at him. I was mad at myself. I was like, good at myself for not trusting my intuition and listening to that guidance. But he still felt really bad because he knew he knew how important it was to me that he fixed it like within 15 minutes. He came in and he went, I just forwarded you an email. I went on this other site and I found two tickets and I was like, okay, and I'm like, you sure? You sure that they're ticket reseller? And he said, yes, they got 50 million great reviews and blah blah blah. And he's like, and I have the tickets and I forwarded you the receipt and blah. I was like, okay. I was like, and I was like, I was mad at myself, but but see, and it's all divine, of course. I could make that oath to myself. Um, ever want to go through that again, and oh, that voice was telling me, order the tickets, or make this decision in your business, or do this thing, or whatever the intuition is that comes through. Trust it. When it's the truly your inner guidance and your divine intuition coming through, you don't have to be in the old earth way anymore and ask and wonder and ask your pendulum and ask your friend to pull for you. And it's, your inner intuition, how it feels when it comes through. Good, right? It feels, you feel like you're in your driver's seat. You're the captain of your ship. Um, and you can feel it. It's like you feel kind of solid and yet flowing at the same time. Your energy is flowing properly throughout your entire body and energy field. Or I trust my intuition. Even just now, say that out loud. I am in my power and I trust my intuition. Woo, 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 woo. And you feel how that feels in your body. Like, that's the way we wanna feel all the time. It's groovy, right? It's groovy and radical. Um, so that's my story. And take my adamant story and apply it to your business. And guidance is coming through. Trust it, because your intuition is never wrong. Neither is mine. I know this for a fact from my adamant story. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm really excited. So, your homework is trust your intuition and let me know how that goes for you.